on a Saturday, and I'm actually heading towards something called BEA, Black Engineer YA. I never remember the YA Association. For some reason I'm slipping. I've gone to this for 5 years now, 5, 6 years now. I've gone to many Bay events. I've gone to them in California. I've gone to the ones in I've gone to them in California. I've gone to several in DC, and this one today is in Baltimore. Anyways, I titled this as what I've learned so thus far as a 28-year-old black man. And I just wanted to talk about a few things, just like a couple of things that I've come to realize at my age. So, I immigrated to this country when I was 5 years old, and I've been in this country for 23 years. This last month made it mark 23 years. I'm a December baby, so I was born in December, and so there's a lot. So in other lives, I've talked about how when I was younger, in fourth grade, an older black woman grabbed me by the arm. I was acting crazy or something. I must have been doing something. I just don't remember what. And she grabbed me by the arm and told me that I only have one leg to stand on, and I need to stand on it well. And then I later on even talked about another great situation, which was foreshadowing in my life, where another older black woman, when I was in my later ages as a young man, I was about 16, and I was interested in this woman, and she told me to leave her alone. She must have caught me, looking her way several times or something. She advised me to leave her alone. She's not the one. And now I see the attributes that would make her tell me, give me that advice to leave her alone. And now I see it as a mid-20s, late 20s actually, 28. I only have 2 more years, so 30. Now I see it, and so I've been able to reflect on all these things. And today there are a few more other features that I want to express, or factors I want to express about being particularly a black man trying to do things in this world, in America, in the United States, Estados Unidos. And in Chinese, I think it's like Meguan Yuan, it's Meguan Shan, Meguan Shan. Yeah. So, and since I said Spanish, Chinese, I'm gonna say in Igbo we say Obodo Yibo, the land of milk and honey. So it could have been drastically different in any other country. Okay, so one of the things I credit to my success are my family, and particularly my parents. I credit my success to my parents, and then my family as a whole. We move as a unit, or we try to. However, it's very difficult to do that in America. This country does a really good job of trying to strip you of your culture, your language, and just how you get along. So my family, I'm the Diapalo, and I've been doing a lot of comparisons to Igbo and Chinese. And in Chinese, instead of saying Diapalo, you will say Dago, like that. And then the eldest sibling, a female sibling, would be Ada. In Chinese, that would be Dazi Ada. So a lot of really, really cool similarities that I like about Chinese and Igbo. But anyway, so moving on. So my parents invested a lot for me to get to where I am, and it's almost like I'm indebted to them. So I find myself in my 20s having accrued a lot of physical debt coming through school, like college, loans, mortgages, personal loans. And then there is this other debt, which is family debt. You know, when you're born black, you're born with a debt. You're born with a debt, and when you're immigrant, it's like a double whammer. So I have family debt, and that is, I graduated from college, I have student loans. You would think I should buy a home. I have a mortgage, or a couple of them, and because I'm trying to do business, right? And at the same time, I have to advise and help pull my siblings through college, and money is expected in that. You know, I just back up to about 600 after co-signing and maxing out credit cards with two of my sisters. You know, and the family moves in certain ways that I'm also expected to financially aid in. And when I don't, then, because the reason why I say there's a physical debt, right? I said there's a physical debt, which are the actual loans under my name. And then when I don't help out, then I get taxed on the spiritual debt, which is 1, being black, 2, being African, immigrant, whatever you want. And it's always a like overbearing, or how do I say this? It's always luring or hovering over my head that, oh, if you don't give money for this, you're a terrible brother, you're a terrible son, you're a terrible this. Even if you vocalize that, hey, I don't like those decisions, and that you guys want to go on, like, I don't think we should do that. And you vocalize it years in advance, you know, that, hey, this is not good, let's not go this way. You know, Bernie Mac, which is my favorite comedian of all time, he once said that if you want to know how people really feel about you, tell them no. And every day I'm starting to realize how people truly feel about me. Even my own father told me that the medicine of a rich man is no. Ogu ogalaya bumba. The medicine of a rich man is no. No. And it's very disappointing when you think that you're a part of a team, and then you come to realize, no, it's not a we, it's an I. You know? It's very, very disappointing. And once you tell people no, then you start to realize why other people don't respect you, why other people talk to you crazy. It's because this particular person that you've been trying to help and be a good to this entire time still talks a lot of shit to you, about you, behind your back. And they really express to the other people how they feel about you. And they don't accept how you want to help, how you want to be a part of other people's lives, how you want to contribute to this world. The other thing I want to point out at this moment is the people who really appreciate you, who really like, really like, yeah, you're remembered by your family, because I mean, at the end of the day, as you grow old, that's all you have. But I'm talking about as you're working and getting yourself together, the people who really appreciate you, who really like talk about you, are not your family. Think about it. We know Shakespeare. Do we know any of his children? Like, what poems did his children write? And how many times do you see a lawyer? We know O.J. Simpson. Was his son like that? You do have people like Martin Luther King, whose son just passed away. And you do have people like Malcolm X, whose daughters still, you know, they seem to still live in that sort of lifestyle that he set. But it's your fans, it's your friends, and people who don't really know you that truly appreciate the impact that you've made to this world. Meanwhile, family is really good about, you do something, they might say, yeah, good job, but then they'll turn around and dismiss the things that you've done. So I don't say that to say, oh, family's terrible, or oh, you should run after friends or associates. What I'm trying to say is you should keep that in perspective. That hey, sometimes you do things that is thankless, like people don't thank you for it, and you do it because it's your job. At the same time though, just because it's your job, or just because you are in that position, doesn't mean you should clarify what your job is. And your job, especially if you're a young man, is not to fix other people's problems. And we should all start to be careful about carrying family problems. Just because I was born black doesn't mean I have to carry 400 years of slave on my back. I just need to know what those were, and that a lot of people out here, white and black, still suffer from it. But that don't mean I need to walk around like, yes, massa, yes, sir. If you're older, I must say yes, sir, no, sir. I'm not gonna feel like, oh, I'm not gonna say yes, sir, to you because I'm a boy. I'm not thinking like that. I'm gonna say yes, sir, to you because I'm an elder. Excuse me, you're an elder, and you have a position of respect in society, as it should be. And I'm not saying because you're a governor or you're a president, I'm just saying you're a human. And you've walked this planet years more than I have. Right? Well, to keep it moving, like I said, you don't be in a haste to pick up family problems. If your family makes decisions like, oh, they want to prioritize certain events because they think that's important versus the roof over your head, the roof over their head, it's not your job to push that. It's not your job to come and pick them up when they fall behind. Especially if you told them ahead of time that, hey, this is not a good decision. Especially when you're a young person still trying to get your feet under yourself. When people don't acknowledge the responsibilities you have, that's a problem. That's a problem. When you say no, and now you become the bane of existence, that's an issue. And only way you really can deal with that is by giving distance and space. Now, if you're, if this is like a family situation, not just like you and a friend, like let's say it's your parents, you still need a call. If they pick up, that's on them. But you still need a call. Hey, how are you guys doing? You doing good? Good. Okay, that's nice. Have a little chit chat, check up on them. All right. Now I've done my job. I'll talk to you guys later. If you don't pick up, that's on you. You know, same with siblings. But I would say with siblings, you can stop calling. If you call 3-4 times and nobody picks up, or you give advice, or you're giving references, like, hey, this is a good idea, hey, da, 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 and it falls onto deaf ears, then stop. Stop. And this advice goes to relationships. If you're a man pursuing a woman and nothing you say or do seems to be good enough for her, then stop. You don't have, it's not husband by force. You don't have to be her husband. She don't have to be your wife. Stop. You know? Stop. No. Stop. Stop and no are two powerful words that we need to use more. And it took me a long time to really develop it. I was good at no, but stop was hard. And not just stop, like I can stop, but stopping before you put yourself in a situation where you build somebody's ego and you embarrass yourself. Somebody say they don't want you, they don't want you around, or you call and somebody doesn't answer, don't keep doing it, because now they're going to talk shit about you. Oh, my brother keeps calling. Oh, my ex-boyfriend keeps calling. Yeah, he can't get enough of me. He just keeps bugging me. But imagine what happens when you stop. Imagine what happens when you stop. Give it 2 months. Now they're confused. Like, where is he? What's he doing? Oh, you know what? Whatever situation it was that we had really wasn't that big of a deal. Now you can let things be, but you don't need to forget, because that person hasn't changed. All you did was change how you were approaching them, which forced them to show another side of them. They always say something like, well, this is really, I heard it from a man to one perspective. If you treat her like a fan, you treat her like a celebrity, she'll treat you like a fan, you know? And that's very true. And it's very true for everybody. Now, the thing about this live, and why I say what I've learned as a 28-year-old black man, is that when it comes to family, it goes deeper than that. We're talking about people, you know, threatening to curse you, as if they just curse you, you'll just disappear off this planet. Especially when it comes to family, people shouldn't threaten to curse people, because you gonna curse your own son, or you gonna curse your own brother, or you gonna curse your own sister. You're not gonna get too far cursing the people who were put in this world to be the closest link to you. Everybody else you meet outside of family is a discovery. I discovered it, like Christopher Columbus so-called discovered America. It's a discovery. And America turned out to be much larger than what it was. And that's how friendships are. You discover friends, and then it takes hundreds of years for you to realize that these people are not your friend. And if you give it about 5 to 10 years, you'll come to realize that y'all are not friends anymore. You were just friends because of a situation that brought you together. Well, when it comes to family, it can be the same. It can be the same. And if you choosing to not pay debt is what's gonna make you drift apart, then that's what it has to be. Steve Harvey said that if you want to help poor people, start by not being poor yourself. If people actively make a decision, they need to also eat those consequences. And one of those consequences could be not being in a good relationship with your daughter, your son, your sibling. And we just have to go like that, you know? And you have to be able to do these things and not feel ashamed about it. This is not just family, this is dating too. If a girl asks you to take her to Cheesecake Factory, Cheesecake Factory is already too much. The best relationships I had, I never took them to no Cheesecake Factory. We sat at the public library and we flirted, and we were so excited to be around each other. If you are in a situation where a woman is trying to have you take her to Cheesecake Factory Plus, like I've been hearing and seeing these videos, if she's asking you to take them to Hell's Kitchen, like a woman just asked me 2 weeks ago, there's nothing that's going to come out of that. Leave that alone. You have to learn how to be alone. Especially as a man. As a man, the sooner you learn to be alone, the better. You really got it. It sucks But you really gotta learn to be by yourself. You have to learn to be by yourself. You have to learn to be comfortable. And this is something, when it comes to, let's say, a future relationship, I'm not really interested in trading. Because so far, this just happened with a Mexican woman. They'll come in and love bomb the hell out you. They'll come over and clean your bathroom. They'll come over, bring you food for your birthday, and do whatever it is that they want to do. And then they'll go home after every situation and put on the whiteboard, Mexican woman, 1. Nigerian man, 0. Mexican woman, 1. Nigerian man, 0. Mexican woman, 3. Nigerian man, 0. Mexican woman have 15 slashes for everything. Oh, I tied his shoes. Oh, I told him his shirt was pretty. And then, oh, finally, Nigerian man, 1. Oh, but the reason why he finally got 1 point is because he felt like I earned it. And then, whenever they decide to turn that switch off of being overly loving, when you're like, hey, where are you going? What's going on? Now, they don't negotiate with terrorists. If when you were doing things, I was saying, hey, I love it, I appreciate it. I don't like this, I don't like this. Let's just stay in the house and relax. Let's just go for a walk. But you really persist in this fantasy you have in your head. Don't be upset if the other person doesn't have that same fantasy in their head. People don't sync all the time. But just because you don't sync don't mean that something's broken. You're just not in alignment at the moment. In 80, 90-year relationships, people are in alignment. Sometimes they are disaligned for years. But that's a different live. That live was, I think I did a live yesterday or 2 days ago, where I said when a woman falls out of love, when a woman's fed up, it's like running out of love. Where I was talking about whenever a woman decides that she's tired or whatever situation it is she's in, there's nothing you can say or do that'll make her think differently. Because what she's doing is actively coming up with reasons to not like you. Coming up with reasons to go do what it is she wants to do. So there's nothing you can do at that moment. The one and only thing you can do is leave her the hell alone. And then she'll run around in circles and realize that all these so-called men or situations or opportunities, regardless if it's a relationship with a man or a woman, because you know people like to swing that way these days, and regardless if it's a job opportunity, once all that's said and done, they'll come to realize 5 to 10 years later that that they ran all around the world and they have nothing to show for it, and then they start to hit their head. If I had known. If I had known, I wouldn't have. And then you get the hey big head text message. But yeah, that was a different live. But it still does add on to these things. Because these are the things I've learned as a 28-year-old man. You have to learn how to be alone. You have to learn how to be alone. As a 28-year-old man, this is what I understand about women. So, a lot of women have now, in the last 2 months, a new category of women opened up. A new branch of my dating life opened up. Come to find out, I guess when I turned 28, I'm now old enough for older women. I've met maybe 2 girls who were like, oh, you're 28, you're too old. But they were 22. Okay, and when I was 22, that same kind of girl was running around with a 28-year-old. So I just let that go because people do that. People just go. If people find any reason to insult you, upset you, you just gotta let that shit. You just gotta let that stuff slide off the back of your head, like your waves. Just let it slide off the back of your head. Like that Jerry curl juice. Like that shea butter. Just let it slide off the back of your head. But anyways, at 28, now I have two ranges of women. I have the older and the younger. But anywhere between 25 to 30-year-old women still don't like me. But between 32, literally 32 to the upper room, and then anywhere between, like, for exception of like those two random girls, black girls, anywhere between like 23 to 18 love me. Can't get enough. And I love that group because that's the group where I really did have the most genuine relationship with when I was younger. When you were younger and you only have enough money to go to the park and get some ice cream. And I keep advising some of my guy friends, you guys are too quick to take these girls out. Y'all too quick to take them out on a $100 dinner date, $200. Because when your anniversary comes up next year, you gotta take her out to an $800 dinner date. If the first dinner date was $250 that you dropped. Don't make any sense. Meanwhile, if you take her to the drive-in movies or one of those like museums, you know, you guys can see different things. Museums are free, and you walk around. You can see if she has patience, she has endurance, if she complains after walking around for an hour or two. You can see the kind of conversation you guys have by the different various topics that you will find. There's so many things that comes with a museum. Or if you just go to like a simple fair, you guys can sit around waiting on your food, your cotton candy or whatever, your corn dog, and kicking your legs around, staring at the sky, and just really taking the time to appreciate and enjoy each other's company. What happened to enjoying each other's company? I'm not trying to get to the date. Trying to like enjoy each other's company. This is what you get between the ages of 18 and 23-year-old women. Anything older, like the 30, 32, they're not really trying to enjoy each other's company. And they even argue that a lot of men just trying to see what they about. Yeah, they're trying to see what they're about, but at the same time, what you're doing is trying to see what my wallet's about. If another girl asks me, what do I do as a profession, I'm gonna be upset. No, I'm not gonna tell you my job. No, I'm not gonna tell you my last name. I don't got time for you to search for me. I'm good. Unless I slid in your DMs, because my name is the same on all my social medias. Unless I slid in your DMs, no, your face better not pop up on my LinkedIn profile. I don't even update my LinkedIn anymore because I just don't want people popping up on my LinkedIn to see what I do, what I've been, what da-da-da-da. Don't have time for that. I'll update it maybe 3 years from now of what I did back in 2020. And it's crazy because my perspective on jobs, speaking about what I've learned at 28, is that jobs come and go. Careers come and go. Unless you're trying to do the long 30-year game at a government corporate job, they really do come and go. And I don't even put a lot of things on my resume anymore. But when I was younger, resumes was a big deal. Now I don't. I don't put a lot of things on my resume anymore. Because the things I put on my resume, those things don't even mean that much to me. And those are situational things that happen one or two times. Meanwhile, I can strip wires. These things are skills. I can take anywhere. I don't have to take that laptop with all these government passwords and keyboards. I can't just take that and go to Spain and do whatever I need to do. But I can take my skill set and go anywhere in the world. So those are the things I put on the resume now. Not big name companies, in particular projects. Nah. And I definitely don't put that on LinkedIn. But anyways, back to what I've learned with ladies. So I described the 18 to 23-year-old, and then now I'm describing the 32 plus, right? So these are the kind of questions they ask. And then right after that, if you let a girl talk, one of the first things she talks about is vacationing. And basically just finding somebody to die with. That's what it is. These conversations start at 35. They're basically just looking for somebody to die with, because a lot of these girls already have children. And speaking of having children, let's talk about why a girl wants to settle down with you. Some girls just want to get married and have the wedding. So if a girl really likes you, every girl has a reason for doing what she does. If a girl really likes you, it may be that she's trying to settle down and get married. So she'll put in every tactic that she knows men like to get what she wants. Then once she gets that marriage, then she acts dumb as if she doesn't know what a man desires. For example, if a woman wants you for your money, you can't get her off of you. You can't get her to leave you alone. Then once you marry her thinking this is the sweetest woman ever, she turns around, she stops giving you everything. You tell her, let's go to Jerusalem. She says, nah, I'm good. She tells you, let's go to Kenya. She says, nah, I'm good. She said, I don't even like vacationing. Next you know, now you're laying in bed with another woman. And then she goes and divorces you because you cheated. And then she drags your name all over town about how terrible of a man you are. But she won't tell nobody that she hasn't even seen you naked in a year. And you're supposed to be her husband. She hasn't even checked to make sure you don't have any, I don't know, so breast cancer, I don't know. Make sure you don't have any breast cancer. You know, just make sure that oh, my husband, that's not a mole on your back, right? Or is that, she wouldn't even know. You know? So if it's money, yeah, they'll do that just to get it. If it's just wedding, marriage, they'll do that just to say they got married. A lot of women just say they just do what they need to do today just to say they got engaged. You hear them, oh, I've been engaged. I thought this shit was a myth. I met a Muslim woman that told me she'd been proposed to 50 times. And I don't know, let a girl talk. And she will brag to you about what she brags to her fellow female peers. Because I can see you bragging to your female friends about being proposed to 50 times. However, it don't go well when you brag about being proposed to 50 times to a man, especially if you're trying to marry this man. Because all you're telling me is, oh, I'm gonna be number 51. Oh, you mean what? The same feelings girls feel when they think that they are number 51 in the bedroom? Whoa. So it doesn't make any sense, you know? It really doesn't make any sense. But they can't make these connections sometimes. And it is sad. All right, so now let's talk about the age group that I said that I normally don't get any attention from. Age group I normally don't get attention from will be the 25-ish to the 30s. This group just does not have time for you. At least for me. Because I'm not 6'8", 6'3", 6-pack. So they'll never find out I got 6 figures or the other 6. I'm not even gonna look at the camera because I'm driving. So woo! So they just don't have time. They're too busy running after their career and whatnot. And they put their relationships on the back burner. They're quick to say something's long distance. This is a long distance relationship. They're quick to say that we're not aligned, we're not looking for the same thing. They're quick to say shit like, oh, equally yoked. these are experiences I've had with these girls. So I don't know why I disconnected. So if things were to continue the way they do, I think that when I get older, right? Just to finish that last talk about why women would want to marry you. So for the women who want children, right? Unfortunately, today, a lot of women don't care to marry for children. They're not gonna jump through all those hoops to get that marriage for the woman. Unfortunately, because we just have so many baby mamas, right? But if we just pan out and look at all the other countries outside the United States in the West, if a woman just wants children, when she has those children, like I said about if she just wants you for money, or she just wants the wedding, once she gets that, things happen the same way. She'll like, let's say she just wants 1 or 2 kids. Whatever number of kids it is she wants in her mind, once she has that, sex goes out the window. She'll replace you with the children, and you'll be lucky if the kids call you later, you know? And you could put a lot of money into training your children. This is what I'm seeing, reflecting back on my childhood and me being 28 with my parents and whatnot. So you get in relationships and you fall madly in love with a woman, and then next you know, you find yourself saying stuff like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened in my life. So imagine what your dad's thinking when he's like, what about all the money we've sent to send you to schooling, and you talking about this woman is the best thing that's ever happened in your life? You won't know her for like 2 or 3 years, and she definitely hasn't done anything for you. So in the future, that definitely will be happening, right? Yeah, I'm just talking about like 20 years from now. That definitely will be happening. But it has to happen. Because am I gonna marry my family? Am I gonna marry my parents? So it has to happen. Will I marry my grandmother? And same, to wrap it all and bring it all together, when am I gonna buy my house? When am I gonna pay the dowry for my wife? When am I gonna have my children? When, if anytime I have any spare cash, it goes to the family, and the family is making its own decisions disregarding my opinion, right? So why would I continue supporting something that disregards what I think about how the money I will give should be spent? Doesn't make sense. And then get no recognition or respect. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. So when you find yourself in those situations, ooh, there's a Wingstop. Sorry, can't do it. I'm on a diet. I'm doing like a fruit diet. And plus I've got food at home. So if I do want something like a Wingstop, that's my mind telling me, hey, ooh, Wingstop. That's my mind telling me that I'm not hungry. I'm just fat. So anyways, so to bring it all together, when is it that I'm gonna do my things? You know, as a 28-year-old man, when is it where I'm gonna make my own decisions? You know, and the thing is, I'm 28. I'm old enough to go to war and die. I'm old enough to get locked up for 45 years. I'm old enough to get a woman pregnant. So if I'm not old enough to get any respect, that's not a me problem. It really is not a me problem. It really is not. That's a family and friend and associate problem. You have to always look at yourself as your biggest hero, and you understand what you're going through, and you just have to try your best. A girl, was it a girl? Yeah, a woman, not a girl, a woman asked me last night, if I died, what would I want on my headstone? And I told her, I would say, as God is my witness, I tried. And then I'm a very funny guy, so I went on to make her laugh. And I said, like, do you know the story about Moses in the Bible and how he said, let my people go? When I went to college, because she was bragging about how she, 20 minutes before, she was bragging about how she had been, top of her class. And and so I then told her that, basically I was referencing that, if she's smart enough to realize what I was doing there. I was basically saying that I was not the top of my class. I needed to let my people go. I needed the professors to let me graduate. C's get degrees. so and it's very, when I have conversations with a lot of people, I can do that very well. Particularly with women. I do with everybody, but with women, it's a bigger like eye opener, because they tend to be in these they tend to just talk with each other and just hooray everything they say. So for example, there was this Muslim woman. I really want to talk about this part, and then I'm gonna leave. So for example, there was this Muslim woman I was talking to. She's from Egypt, right? And I made her laugh. And to this day, she says that, well, I don't talk to her anymore. But to this day, she says that she was so embarrassed because she was talking about, she's a Muslim woman. She's 32, Muslim. And I always tell you guys, right, when a woman's about 30, there's a reason why she's 30 and not married. There's a reason why she's 30, not married, and still looking for a husband. When a woman turns about 30, anywhere between 28 and up, there's a reason why she does not have a husband. And if you let them talk long enough, you'll find out why. I'm gonna tell you guys the reason. Two main reasons. So the first one is, so she was talking all this feminism stuff, right? About how her and her man need to split the bills and work, or they're both gonna work, and they're both gonna da-da-da, and they're both gonna do-do-do. She's literally saying all the stuff that, like, basically everything's gonna be shared and done, right? And then and so I told her, all right, I love that, that's great. And I let it go. We moved on to conversation. I let it go. I say, hey, that's wonderful, that's great, yeah, everything, yeah. And then about 10 minutes later, then I come back, and then I go to her. I forget exactly how I said it. I screenshot because I thought it was brilliant on my end. Why? Because she said it was brilliant how I said it to her. But I screenshot, and so I have it somewhere. And I said to her, basically something of the nature of like, I started teasing her and I made her laugh, and I was talking about how, I hurt my back. Can you please come help me cut the grass? Oh, I hate spiders. Can you please? So I just kept, you're very strong. I would tease her. I'm like, but I didn't say it all together. I just say it like in segments. I said, at some point, I said, you're a very strong woman. You're very strong. You could beat me up. She's like, no way. I can never beat you up. No way. I'm like, yeah, with one punch, I need you to protect me. I need you to really protect me. So when I brought it all together, her eyes blew up and was like, oh my goodness. Because basically, she wanted me to share all of the duties a wife should be performing traditionally, or whatever it is that people have in the propaganda a wife should be doing, as if men don't clean, as if men don't wash plates, as if men didn't invent washing machines and dishwashers, as if men have not didn't build the house, for you to then manage. So if anything happens in the house, as if men don't know to tell you, hey, hit the switch panel up and down so that you can continue to take care of the home. Hit the switch panel, that's how electricity comes back up. Oh, the water is stuck. Oh, just turn off the water and then loosen this, boom, to go. Or when I finally get there, to fix it up so that you can continue. It's amazing how she wants me to share all the responsibilities of a woman, right? But then when I started listing out the responsibilities of a man in a very sweet, teasing, and humorous way, when she was laughing and enjoying. She was just laughing. She was literally laughing, and we were having a good time. I was laughing too and giggling because here I am, teasing her and saying, hey, I hope you know how to kill spiders, right? Because I hate spiders. She's like, no way, you should kill the spiders. I'm like, no, you need to kill the spider because I'm too scared. You're a strong woman. So no, I'm not strong, I'm small. No, I'm like, no, you're a strong woman. Because I was teasing her. Strong, independent, Egyptian Muslim woman. I almost said strong black woman. So when she finally realized what I was doing, her eyes blew open, like, and she felt so embarrassed. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she was very quick to tell me for the next several days about the dishes and foods that she can cook, about how she can be of use to my life. Like, she really went out her way to make sure to clarify, these are the things I'm bringing to make sure that I'm a good wife to you. These are the things I desire to do for you, my future husband. Here are the pictures of the foods that I can cook, which is a lot different from the kind of reaction our women would give us in America. And she continued to express how embarrassed she felt because of that whole situation. Anyways, so the second thing I want to talk about with her, because I was just talking to my friend about her, because I wasn't like just sitting here like, oh, just let's talk about her. We were talking about just women because that's what we go through now. We go through women. We are trying to find a wife, and we have to talk about and share our experiences. And our experiences are the same. We're experiencing the same type of women. So he gives me advice, I give him advice. Particularly, I keep asking him not to spend money on women. He spent $850 in the last 2 weeks on a girl that got 2 babies by 2 different men and got a boyfriend. Leave her alone. But he won't. As she breadcrumbs him, come on. I promise, you do this one, I will kiss you. What? And anytime they want to hang out, oh, let's go to the vape store. Oh, let's go to this store. Oh, And this is how he bought a girl late last year, back in November or December. Back in early December, a puppy for $2,000. Anyways, so particularly with this woman, he was describing one of the girls he keeps dealing with and how she will say something and it sounds so amazing. But then I said, yeah, but then they turn around and they take that thing that you think is amazing and they just make it the worst thing in the world. So I forget exactly what the other girl, the girl he was dealing with, had said, but here's what the Egyptian Muslim woman said. She said that she doesn't like to argue. When she's upset, she just stops talking. And what my man ears heard was, hey, if we get in an argument, you're not gonna call me out my name. You're not gonna say nigger this, nigger that. You're not gonna talk about how my mama black, my daddy black, my sister black, my dog is black, my bread is black, my car is black. You're not gonna do all that and get in my face and talk to me like you are a man, and try to infuriate and enrage me to come out of my frame and do something that may put me in prison. So that's what I thought I heard. But that's not what she did. So we went on a couple of dates. I would make this woman laugh. She would laugh so hard she'd cry. We went on a couple of dates, and then we had 2 misunderstandings. And when I clarified the first misunderstanding, and you would think, okay, now she knows what I'm talking about. When I clarified, I thought we were good. We're on the same page. You know, excuse me. Let me take a step back. So we had a misunderstanding, and as I'm trying to clarify, we were on the same page. We weren't good, apparently. When I thought we were good, she wasn't good. Because why? Because we're in a moment of like high emotion, and then she just stops talking. This is not what I thought she meant by stop talking. And somehow she managed to weaponize not talking. Because when 2 people are at high emotion, right, you have a disagreement or misunderstanding, whatever the situation is, and then she just stops talking, you're not resolving the problem. Instead, you continue to escalate the other party's emotions and tension. So she stopped talking to remove herself out of the situation. But at the same time, I kept getting not upset or angry, but I continued to be, you know, I was left in limbo. Like, are we okay? Are we not? What's going on? And she went on to not talk to me for days. To then, on a Thursday at 3 a.m. say, Assalamu alaikum. Which I then replied to, because I was at work, alaikum salam. Thinking that, because after a few days, I'm thinking, okay, I'm never going to hear from her. Oh, well, on to the next one. So then she just popped up out of nowhere again. And then that's when we talked about it again. And that's when I thought it was clarified that it was a misunderstanding. But it was not clarified as a misunderstanding. Because after, you know, a month now of not talking to this woman, I come to realize that she definitely never actually accepted or desired for it to just be a misunderstanding. She did it. And then so after she came back, we talked for 1 day or 2 days, and we talked. We had a good conversation. We laughed. We talked on the phone for 12 hours. By the way, man, don't do that. Don't do that. I just realized that, and I just confirmed it with a woman. If you just meet a woman, don't sit on the phone for 12 hours. Don't sit on the phone for 9 hours. Don't do it. Talk to them for 30 minutes and then go find something else to do. Don't do that. Anytime I've met a woman and we talked on the phone for 12 hours or whatever, it never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. So if you do like her and she's cute, cool. And if the conversation's going great, awesome. And if you think you can sit on the phone and talk to her for 12 hours, wonderful. But don't do it. Don't sit on the phone with a woman for 12 hours. And don't talk about everything. If you like her,
red light camera ahead.
Just tell her you gotta go do something else. Anyways, so the last thing I want to talk about with her is that we talked again for like 2 days. We talked again for about 2 days. And we had a great time talking. And then, you know, I had cracked so many different jokes with her. And then the last joke I cracked, she didn't like it. And then so she said, oh, you know, I think I'm too sensitive. You may have to find somebody who will be able to, you know, handle your jokes and stuff like that. Which is out of the blue because she loved all my other jokes. She literally was just laughing. And all I did was tease her because you know how women, they take photos and they like to cover their forehead or whatever. she'll take photos and she'll cover her mouth and then she'll cover her forehead. You know, so I just teased her about it. Basically, you know, pointing out that she likes to cover parts of her face. It's hard to get a photo of her or anything where you can see her whole face. That's literally all I did. So then she did that whole stop talking. And I'm trying like, hey, I'm just a joke. Like, you're fine, you're beautiful. Like trying to, hey. And she just stops talking. So I waited a day and then I just blocked her. Then I got a message on Google or something. And it was her. And y'all, you know what I did? I blocked her again. Because I'm done. I'm tired. You know, I'm tired. No, I can't do this. Nah, I'm good. Because we're not about to be in person and you find something that you don't like. Now you shutting down and walking away from me. You know, because that's weird. That's not how you resolve situations. And my friend even said that, yeah, I agree. Doing the whole like just stop talking thing, it doesn't solve anything. He said he prefer that the girl does have a heated argument and then y'all can at least sit there. This is something also my dad said in the past now I think about it. Y'all can at least sit there and have a heated argument and then sit there, even though if you don't like each other, y'all can sit there and talk and communicate like adults and move on about your day. Yeah, so I'm not about to go 4 or 5 days without my wife saying anything to me. And she's not just not talking. So imagine if you're married to a woman, she's not being intimate with you. Maybe she even takes away cooking. She says she doesn't. So I believe her. So you would just be quiet and be upset and not talking to me. And you think I'm gonna eat your food. As if I'm a mumu, I'm stupid to eat your food. I'm not gonna eat your food, somebody who doesn't even like me, before you poison my food, you know? So why would I eat your food? Why would I accept your food? And the last thing I'm gonna say, guys, I'm gonna just end it with that. If a woman stop trying to talk to you and all that stuff, start trying to treat you bad, the best way to get at them is if you eat other women's food. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, I gotta go. Oh, Zeke, you say you're subbing. Hey, that's wonderful. Look, I don't know how to like actually, because I like following back people. So I screenshot so I can remember your name. When I get the chance, I'm gonna try to find you on YouTube and follow you, because I like following back people. But I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, there are 2 people on. All right, you guys have a good day. Bye. Yeah, if a woman starts treating you bad, if you want to get back at her, stop eating her food. Eat another person's food and enjoy it. Enjoy it. And really enjoy that food. She will, like, especially because women like to do that shit. Women will like to stop talking to you, but still cook for you. Because they want to say that even though they didn't like you, they still did da. Right? No. So even if she cooked for you, put that food to the side. Go to Subway, buy that food, enjoy your food. Or let's say she stops talking to you, right? And because I've lived with a girl or 2 before, which I'm not in a rush to ever do that ever again. I'm not gonna do that ever again. Nope. I'm only living with my wife in the future. Anyways, so let's say she's not talking to you, she's upset. The best thing to do is call your friend and just laugh and just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Ha ha ha, he, ha ha ha. Just really laugh. Like, even if you don't want to laugh, laugh. Like, today is the day to laugh. It don't matter if your friend is just talking about pizza. Just laugh, but make sure not to tell her, or make sure not to let her know who you're talking to. Because that's how women work. They want to be sitting in this weird chaos of mystery. They don't want to know who you're talking to. I mean, excuse me, they do want to know, so don't let them know. And why is he having such a good time talking to this person? Woo! Women hate that. And they hate that. Don't ever let a woman let you be miserable, because what they're doing is testing you. So if you've noticed that a woman's trying to be miserable, trying to make you, oh, what's wrong, babe? What are you doing? Where are you going? Or what did I do wrong? Oh, like you can fix this. Whenever women start doing that nonsense, you got to turn it around. Stay strong and turn it around. Because all she's doing is testing you. She's bored. She's feeling miserable, so she wants you to feel miserable too. Anyways, I got to go.